to our people. This is why it's so hard to wake some of them up. Isaiah 29 verse 10 says, "For the Lord has poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep and has closed your eyes. The prophets and your rulers, the seers, have he covered. And the vision of all is become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed." See, they can't understand this book because God got a spirit of deep sleep on them. And until God touched them and take that spirit of deep sleep off of them, will they begin to understand this book. Understand that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and a good understanding is those who keep the commandments. How do you do that? You first gotta fear God and stop ignoring when you read his word, when he say the Sabbath is the day of rest in Genesis 2. And we just ignore it and still go to church on Sunday.
Praying to the sun god.
You know, that's not fearing God. So you ignorant. God got a spirit of deep sleep on you until you actually, he knows when to take it off. You got to humble yourself. You got to be humble until they humble themselves and stop just going with the flow, following the next person saying, "Well, shoot, Geraldine, I'm finna go to church. I'm going too because I don't want to miss out." Well, if Geraldine, I'm going to church and ain't learning shit, guess what? You missing out.
Well, let me ask you this. Is it a commandment
For what?
rest on the Sabbath?
It is a commandment. He says keep his Sabbath holy. Let's go to Exodus 20. It's a commandment to keep the Sabbath. It is one of God's commandments. Here you go. Exodus 20. Here it is. He said, he started in 3. He said, "Thou shalt have no other gods before me." And it goes down. Okay, it said, verse 5 says, "Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I am the Lord thy God, am a jealous God." Okay, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children of the 3rd and 4th generation that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Now he's going to name them. What did he say? Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. That's a commandment.
Okay, so they breaking the commandment when they go to church.
Yes, they're not keeping the commandments. See, God say you can keep. See, and some of them always they be quick to. You have these pastors or ignorant Christians who be quick to say, "Well, we can't keep them well enough to get in the kingdom of heaven." Is it hard? What God just said, remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy? Is that hard to do? To stay at home like we doing and reading the scriptures and representing God and giving it to God, regarding this day to God, learning, getting wisdom and knowledge of the month. We keeping the Sabbath. That's what we doing. He says 6 days thou shalt labor. This is also a commandment. And do thy work. But the 7th day, well, you think he just said it just to be saying it? God don't speak just to hear himself speak.
Well, this is my next question. What if they are confused about what day the Sabbath is?
If they are confused. Okay, let's go back right here. We're going to stay right here to prove that point. He said, and then I'm going to go back to Genesis. He said, 6 days thou shalt labor and do work. Okay, so we all know a week start and it ends. So with that being said, fundamentally, we know that a week has a beginning and an ending. So if he say, how many days in a week? Do we fundamentally know that there are 7 days in a week? Do we know that? Do we know that? God says 6 days you should work and do labor. Okay, we go to Genesis 2, where he said, and on the 7th day, God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the 7th day of all his work which he had made. And God blessed the 7th day and sanctified it, because in it he had rested from all his work. So that's what we're supposed to do. Okay, I'm gonna go fundamentally. So if you want to know what the 7th day, you got a calendar on your phone. It got 7 days on it. The first one is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, that's 3 days. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, that's 6 days. That's your 6 working days. Saturday is the Sabbath day. That's the 7th day which God, if that's the calendar you go by, you have no choice but to rest on the 7th day. 7th day is on a Saturday when you look at your calendar. It's just as simple as that. Anybody who don't do that is got the spirit of deep sleep. They don't have a full understanding. And they doing what they want to do. They doing what God say in Romans 10. They're going about their own understanding. When God clearly makes it clear. They going to Romans going about their own understanding, see, in the New Testament. Romans 10. What God say? In Romans 10, he said, starting at verse 2, for I bear record that they have a zeal of God, but not according to knowledge. For they being ignorant of God's righteousness and going about to establish their own righteousness, have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of God. That's what people do. You have to humble yourself and submit yourself to the righteousness of God. God does not contradict himself. What Corinthians 14 say at the end? Let all things be done decently and in order. Going to church on Sunday is not decent and in order. It's out of order according to God. It's as simple as that. And what God say also? But if any man be ignorant, if that fool want to continue to go to church on Sunday, let him be ignorant. You see, so it's just simple as that. It's just as simple as that. The Bible causes us to walk uprightly if we apply it.